Council meeting on February 9th, 2021 to order. The time is now 7:30. We are at the Twinsburg Government Center Council Chamber. The meeting is being held hybrid with council in person and public participation via Zoom due to the current COVID-19 statewide guidelines. Shannon, please call the roll.
Ms. McFerrin?
Here.
Mr. Scafidi?
Here.
Mrs. Walker? Present. Mr. Barr?
Here.
Mrs. Stoffer?
Here.
Mr. Bellin?
Here.
Mr. Fury?
Here.
Mrs. Stoffer at this time will lead us in the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Father, we seek your guidance for the business that is before us. In planning for the future of the city of Twinsburg, give us vision. Guide us to make decisions that are not self-serving, but for the betterment of our community, so we can continue to move in a positive direction. Amen.
Amen.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes of the regular council meeting and the public hearing from January 26, 2021? Is there any discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion to accept the minutes as submitted?
I make a motion that we accept the minutes as submitted.
Mr. Fury has made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Scafidi, second. Shannon, please call the roll.
Mr. Fury?
Yes.
Mr. Scafidi?
Yes.
Mr. Bellin?
Yes.
Ms. McFerrin?
Yes.
Mrs. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes. Approval of the minutes passes 7-0. Do we have any awards or presentations this evening?
We do.
So, yes, I would like to recognize our AYSO program for those that have had children playing soccer here in Twinsburg. We have a fantastic youth program that's run by just a great organization. We've had a lot of dedicated individuals. One in particular is Brad Harney. He's up there on the screen. Hey, Brad.
Hey, how you doing?
So, AYSO has a national recognition they do each year, and our Twinsburg AYSO 1026 has been recognized as Region of the Year. And just to put that in context, there's over 600,000 players nationally and 50,000 teams, and Twinsburg was chosen as the Region of the Year this year. And I just want to congratulate Brett. I don't know if you can see in the room here, but I have a certificate at some point I can give AYSO, just, thanking you guys for all the work that you do, and, recognizing the program and the strength of the program here in our community, because I know, we're interviewed by a lot of our neighboring communities in the soccer program that we're able to run for kids. So, I don't know if you want to share anything.
First of all, thank you. Thanks, Ted. And one, I want to say, the city makes it much easier to do what we do. With the continual help within the fields and storing our equipment and things like that, we couldn't do it without the city for sure. Really appreciate all the support we get from all of you. We're very fortunate, and I know I'm speaking to the choir here, but we have a great community, and it's really nice to get notarized. But the thing is we have so many people within the organization and just within the city that help do little jobs, little tasks, because those little tasks is what makes the organization great. And we have a great board of members as well, but our coaches and our other volunteers really make it special. I've been doing it now for 20 years, and it's really been a very fulfilling extra job. But it's been great. And appreciate all your help. Thank you very much, Doug.
No, thank you, and I have a lot of discussions with mayors in other communities discussing Parks and Rec, and we're just so fortunate here in Twinsburg, and I know I speak on behalf of myself and council that we have such organized, well-funded, professional youth organizations running our youth programming and our sports here in the city, and I just want to thank you for all the years that you've committed to it, and looking forward to what AYSO is going to do in the future, so thanks very much.
Yeah, I appreciate all your help. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
Do we have any audience participation this evening?
Mr. Hughes has signed up also. Presentation online.
Do we see him?
He's not there.
Okay.
Okay. What? Okay, moving on to council communication and committee reports. Mr. Scagidi.
Thank you. Yeah, I've had no, my committees have not met since our last meeting, but the Finance Committee will meet again on the 23rd at 5:30, and that will be right here in our council chambers. Other than that, I have no other report at this time. Thank you.
Mr. Barr.
Good evening, thank you. Like Mr. Scafidi, none of my committees have met since our last meeting. The next Planning Commission meeting is scheduled for Monday, February 22nd at 7 p.m. in council chambers. And the next Safety Committee meeting is scheduled for March 9th, which is a Tuesday in council chambers at 6 p.m. That's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Mrs. Walker.
Yes. Yesterday, we had a special committee meeting on justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion agenda, where we have selected about maybe 10 residents for that. So we started our meeting at 7 o'clock. We worked on, talked about the budget. We talked about getting a lot of things done. We did get a chair and a vice chair. And I think we really are doing a great job. We're on at a great start. And we're going to have a couple meetings by Zoom. And it's a wonderful meeting, and we just hope that other people can attend. It's really great for the city of Twinsburg. Thank you, that's all I have.
Mr. Fury.
Yes, good evening. The Environmental Commission met on the 2nd of February. Items that they discussed were how to celebrate a virtual Earth Day. And we talked about getting together with the Tinker Creek Watershed, the high school science teachers, the Metro Parks, as well as the library to talk about ways that we can promote Earth Day this year with the challenge of not being able, having to social distance. So the next meeting for the Environmental Commission is March 2nd at 7 p.m. And that's held virtually as well, but if you're interested, you can get you can attend. The Comprehensive Plan Committee will have its first meeting on tomorrow on the 10th. And every 5 to 6 years we do a comprehensive plan to talk about how we would like to see the city in 10, 15, 20 years. It's an important part of economic development, and it creates about a 60 to 70 page document over a year time. So this is a long project, and we're just starting that at this point. The Community Relations Board will meet February 18th. And that's a group of Reminderville Township, the library, the schools, and the city to talk about joint interests and make sure that we're aware of what others are doing. And lastly, the CIC met last night, and Mrs. Stopper is going to report on that. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Mrs. Stopper.
Okay. On Thursday, February 4th, I attended the ARB meeting. On the agenda were 4 items. The first case was 21-2012. It was at 2202 Highland Road. It was a sign review for Cleveland Furniture, Crossroads Furniture Corporate Office, and Cleveland Syrup. So 3 businesses in one building. Mike Bizdak from Caseco Imaging put together a proposal. There were 3 variances. They were all approved as submitted. Cleveland Furniture is going to open up there. They're hoping in April. The second case was 210213, and that was at 8928 Darrow Road with another sign review. Just basically, they're changing the name of Pet Value to Pet Supplies Plus. The sign was approved as noted, and it was just basically the note being that the background colors match the other colors in the monument sign. The third case was 9224 Darrow Road. It was a Rip City sign, review for fast signs that was approved as submitted. And then there was actually a fourth case. It was a 10574 Ravenna Road. It was Quest Building. It's a financial and insurance company. They're adding a sign also by fast signs, and that was approved as submitted. The next ARB meeting is scheduled on February 18th at 6 p.m. I also attended the CIC meeting. We discussed the request for qualification proposal for the central area development. And we're working on getting that proposal out and then setting some deadlines to interested parties. So we're getting that all set up. Our next meeting, I don't have the scheduled date for the next meeting for the CIC, but that's what we worked on. And then they talked also about advertising in Crane's Magazine and some of the other magazines to get the proposal out. Then we also I had a meeting last night. I also attended the Jedi meeting. It is going. I think it's going to be a very, very good group. You know, I think we're going to accomplish a lot of ideas going out. So I'm looking forward to that. The next meeting for the Jedi meeting, and again, that is the Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion is going to be on, we're having a virtual meeting on the 8th, but then again, virtual meeting in 2 weeks, and then again on March 8th, we have our meeting. Let's see, Wednesday, February 10th at 6 p.m., I'll be attending the Comprehensive Plan Committee virtual meeting as well, so I'll be reading over the best practice framework that Larry sent us tomorrow, or tonight, when I get home. That's all I have.
Thank you. And Mr. Bellon?
Thank you, good evening. I also attended last night's Committee on Racism as a Public Health Crisis. I'd like to echo what Mrs. Walker and Mrs. Stauffer said. There is a lot of good conversations, a lot of difficult conversations, and I would just like to thank all of the residents and the employees of the City of Twinsburg that take the time to be a part of that committee, because it is absolutely a very important one. And I'm proud to be a part of it as well. The Board of Zoning Appeals met on January 27th via Zoom. There were 3 cases that evening. Case 01-2021 was a 5-foot side yard variance for 1700 Bridget Lane, which passed unanimously. Case 02-2021 was a 7-foot side yard variance for 1701 Bridget Lane, which also passed unanimously. And case 03-2021, there was an 11-yard rear yard variance for 1540 Bridget Lane, which also passed unanimously. Council, later in miscellaneous, I'll probably make a motion to waive the 30-day waiting period. Does anybody have an issue with me combining those into one motion? Mr. Maestros, Council, any issues with that? Okay, all right, I'll go ahead and do that later then. The next BZA meeting will be held on Wednesday, February 24th at 6:30 p.m. via Zoom. The Public Works Committee is scheduled to meet on April 13th at 6 p.m. And as Mrs. Stauffer said, the next Committee on Racism and Public Health meeting will be held on Monday, February 22nd via Zoom at 6 p.m. I have nothing further. Thank you.
And none of my committees have met. The next golf advisory will be on March 16th. Mr. Mayor, do you have anything to report this evening?
Yeah, just a couple of things. Thank you. I also attended the Jedi committee meeting, and I know everyone is kind of getting to know them to each other. I think there are going to be some as the group starts to mesh, and I think start understanding our role, and I think there's going to be a lot of challenging conversations and a lot of challenging topics that we're going to have to deal with. But I'm looking forward to what that group can produce and help with the city. Had been having meetings with Parks and Rec looking toward spring and the summer. So a couple of exciting things that we're hoping to be able to plan. We're working on right now is I really want to have a camp this year. So we're working on a couple of versions of camps. We do have all of our seasonal jobs, getting ready, being posted. There's probably some already on the website. We've got concerts booked for Rock the Park. So we're all hoping that we can all participate in concerts as we have in the past, or some version of those. We are trying to create some interesting Easter type events for both adults and kids, so we are planning that. And we're looking at getting back to our pavilion rentals so that families can celebrate certain events up in our parks and those kind of things. So we're cautiously walking through a lot of things right now, trying to plan some of these things in anticipation of having what might be a normal summer or somewhat of a normal summer. So as we get further along in the process and as we start seeing more vaccines start hitting our community, as things start to change. And with that being said, I think Johnson is now has filed for approval from FDA for its vaccine. I know 65 and olders are now eligible, so those that can get appointments. School districts are now seeing vaccines come into the school district. I think Twinsburg is lucky enough this Friday maybe to start. So we're seeing, while there is still this limited supply of vaccines, we are seeing people get vaccinated, and that's going to continue to happen. And especially when Johnson & Johnson gets approved, that's going to be what a lot of the news people are saying is going to be the game changer of starting to see us work really toward the herd immunity. So I'm excited about it. It's exciting for me to talk about some of our events we have here in the city, because I think that's what makes it so special. Is a lot of things we do for families and for kids, and so it's exciting to at least discuss that right now. Hopefully the reality is that we're able to actually go through with some of these. So I just want to share a few of those things, and then that's all I have to report. Thank you.
Thank you. There are no department head meeting reports this evening. Moving on to legislation and ordinance 07-2021.
An ordinance amending chapter 1173 of the codified ordinances of the city of Twinsburg regarding signs.
This is on its second reading for the sign ordinance. Is there any discussion or questions at this time? Resolution 10-2021.
A resolution acknowledging council's receipt and review of the monthly financial statements submitted by the Finance Department for October, November, and December 2020.
I make a motion to adopt Resolution 10-2021. May I have a second? Mrs. Walker seconds. We do this each quarter to acknowledge receipt and review of monthly financial statements. Any discussion? Shannon, please call the roll.
Ms. McPherron?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Bellin?
Yes.
Mrs. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Fury?
Yes.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Scafidi?
Yes.
Resolution 10-2021 passes 7-0. Ordinance 11-2021.
An ordinance accepting the bid of Apex Construction for the 2020 Fitness Center Automatic Door Project and declaring an emergency.
At this time, we would like to make a motion to suspend the rules and place ordinance 11-2021 on its third and final reading and declare it an emergency. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Mrs. Stoffer seconds. The reason for the emergency is to be able to get this project started as soon as possible. Is there any discussion on the emergency? Shannon, please call the roll.
Ms. McPherron?
Yes.
Mrs. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Scafidi?
Yes.
Mr. Bellin?
Yes.
Mr. Fury?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
I make a motion to adopt ordinance 11-2021 as an emergency. May I have a second?
I'll second. You'll.
Doesn't matter.
Mr. Bell. Ordinance 11-2021 is to award the bid for the fitness center doors to Apex Construction. The total project is $47,900. $29,850 is from grants and $18,050 is the city's portion. Is there any further discussion?
Yeah, I would just like to once again thank Mr. Barr for lending his professional expertise to this. This is one of those things that, again, I'm glad you're here, so I appreciate your expertise. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bellin, appreciate it.
Shannon, please call the roll.
Ms. McPherron?
Yes.
Mr. Bellin?
Yes.
Mr. Fury?
Yes.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Scafidi?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mrs. Stoffer?
Yes.
Ordinance 11-2021 passes 7-0. Resolution 12-2021.
A resolution declaring the month of February as Healthy Heart Month in the city of Twinsburg.
I'm making a motion to adopt Resolution 12, 2021. There a second.
Second.
Mr. Scafidi, second. Is there any discussion? Shannon, please call the roll.
Ms. McFerrin?
Yes?
Mr. Scafidi?
Yes.
Mrs. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Fury?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Bellin?
Yes.
Resolution 12, 2021 passes 7-0. Ordinance 13, 2021.
An ordinance authorizing the sale at auction of certain personal property owned by the city of Twinsburg and no longer needed for municipal purposes.
This is the first reading to approve items for the city auction. The main item is a 1994 fire truck that's being replaced with a new engine, which should be ready in April or May. There may be additional items to the auction list as we go through the readings. Is there any questions at this time? Moving on to unfinished business, new business, and miscellaneous. Mr. Scafidi?
I have nothing this evening, thanks.
Mr. Barr?
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Mrs. Walker?
I have nothing, thank you.
Mr. Fury?
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Mr. Bellin?
Yeah, I have one thing this evening. Per my report of the BZA earlier, I'd like to make a motion to waive the 30-day waiting period on BZA items 01-2021, 02-2022, I'm sorry, 02-2021, and 03-2021. May I have a second?
A second.
Mr. Fury seconds. Is there any further discussion? Shannon, please call the roll.
Mr. Bellin?
Yes.
Mr. Fury?
Yes.
Ms. McFerrin?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mrs. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Scafidi?
Yes.
All right, the 30-day waiting period on 01-2021, 02-2021, and 03-2021 passes 7-0. Thank you, council. Nothing further this evening.
Mrs. Stopper?
Yeah, I wanted to congratulate the AYSO and Brett. You know, I think we started in that organization 25 years ago, longer than that with my son playing soccer, and they were stellar then. So to go this long, just congratulate them on the job well done. And I guess while I'm doing that, I should thank the TBL League, all of the people so involved in this community that make it so great, because they are all award-winning in my mind. I also wanted to thank the ARB. Sitting on the meetings, those are some hardworking people. They really spend a great deal of time looking at plans and just doing a really good job for our community and taking a deep dive, deep look into things. So I wanted to thank them as well. And that's all I have.
Mr. Mayor?
Nothing else from me this evening.
Mr. Maestro?
Nothing, thank you.
Mrs. Collins?
Nothing, thank you.
Oh, did I forget Mr. Fury?
No, he said no.
I said no, thank you.
Remember, I'm
Second.
sorry.
That's okay.
I can
He
go
thought
again.
he thought I had forgotten.
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Well, I'd like to wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day. There are no absent members to excuse this evening. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to enter into an executive session to discuss matters pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 121-22 personnel. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Bellin, second. Shannon, please call the roll.
Ms. McFerrin?
Yes.
Mr. Bellin?
Yes.
Mr. Fury?
Yes.
Mr. Scafidi?
Yes.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mrs. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Thank you.